Welcome to the 646ers podcast. I am your host and your brother, Creek. And in the 646ers podcast, we discuss all things Philadelphia 76ers. Sometimes we break down the game in a post-game report in 6 points. And sometimes we just talk about Sixers issues and things that the team has going on. And today, we play the Mavericks later on tonight. So we are definitely going to give a post-game report in our 6 points. But today, I have a different topic I want to discuss. And I won't hold you long. I'm just going to make a point here that Joel Embiid should not and cannot be traded. We are all in Sixerland a little down because of the news that Joel Embiid suffered a left meniscus injury, and we were all waiting for what the report was going to be on that. They took a couple days, but they did finally come out and say that they are going to do a procedure on that injury, left meniscus, to repair it. So there was two options that seemed to be floating around. One was a surgical procedure and the other one was rehab. And I think I saw another one was that he could try to play through it. All of the last two that I mentioned, rehab and playing through it, to me were not good options because it puts him more at risk for maybe even a worse injury. So I'm in favor of repairing it surgically, even though the timeline for return would be a lot longer. And even if not this season, I'm okay with that. So we have to use our human side and think about the person and the player and his career, as opposed to just thinking about this was our year or this was the year that we potentially could win a championship. And I'm on that as well. We haven't seen a championship in Philadelphia since 1983. However, we don't want to jeopardize somebody's entire career or put pressure on them to play through something that they could potentially make worse. And I think Embiid felt some pressure, which in that Golden State game when he came back, and people were speculating that he didn't want to face the Joker, and he probably had an injury that he shouldn't have been playing in Golden State. He didn't look great in his movements in that game. And then, of course, in that game, Jonathan Kuminga landed on his injured knee. I don't know if that aggravated it or made it worse, but he wasn't moving well that game anyway. I don't even put it on Kuminga. I think the report shows that it wasn't really that wasn't the play that injured it. It was already injured. So anyway, my 6 for Sixers today is on the 6 reasons why you cannot and should not trade Joel Embiid. After the report came out that he would be out for a substantial amount of time, getting his left meniscus repaired, people started buzzing on social media that we should trade him. We should get whatever we could get for him at this point, because he has shown a history of injury season after season, and then it has affected some of our playoff run because he was not available for maybe the full stretch of playoffs. And if he was available, he was not 100%. But you cannot trade Joel Embiid. And I'm going to give you 6 reasons why. The first reason is he is the franchise. He is the franchise. He is the meat on the Big Mac. If you take the meat off a Big Mac, you do not have a Big Mac. Unless you are a vegan or you are some kind of a vegetarian, you probably won't even want that sandwich if you take the meat off. That's what he is for the Sixers. He's the franchise player, and there is no other franchise player on the Sixers team. There's nobody that can carry the team the way Joel Embiid carries the team. I love Tyrese Maxey. I love what Maxey is doing this year in his first All-Star bid. But Tyrese Maxey is not capable of carrying the team and being a franchise player night in and night out. He might have a great night like that 51-pointer that he had a couple nights ago. He might average 26, but I'm talking about a go-to player that is so dominant, literally nobody can stop him. Tyrese Maxey is really just not that player right now. Maybe in the future he will be, but I don't believe that you could just build a team around Tyrese Maxey. I think Joel Embiid is our franchise player, and I think that you have to take your chances on him getting healthy because there is no other player unless you're going to blow up the team and just rebuild. He's averaging career with us 27.8 points a game, 11 rebounds, 3 plus almost 4 assists a game, and he is our best player by far. So that's my first reason. He is the franchise, the entire franchise right now. Reason number 2, you will not get equal value for Joel Embiid. There is no way, it's impossible that you're going to get equal value for him at this point. There is no player that is available that you will even get even a remnant of the value that he brings. The Denver Nuggets are not trading Nikola Jokic for Joel Embiid. That might be equal. MVP previous year, MVP reigning. Okay, they're not trading him. The Milwaukee Bucks are not trading Giannis Antetokounmpo for Joel Embiid. He was the MVP a couple years ago, and you're not getting him. Victor Wembanyama is an up-and-coming, probably future MVP of the league, a freak of nature, and an alien. The San Antonio Spurs are not going to trade you Victor Wembanyama for Joel Embiid. And then you have other top players. Who do you want? LeBron James? Well, he has 1 or 2 more years to go. And the Lakers are not going to trade him either. So the only thing you're really going to be left with is some B-level players. You're not getting an A-lister. There's no team out there that's going to trade you their A-list star for Joel Embiid. And even if they did, he is the MVP, the most valuable player in the whole league. You're not going to get your return on it. So you would be definitely taking a loss. And I go back to, again, it's worth it to take the chance on him and as opposed to decimating your entire team for another player or a couple players or some draft picks that's not going to equal out. You're not going to get your value for your money. So that's my second point. My third point is his injury is not career ending. He has a meniscus injury that can be repaired. We should try to repair it. According to ESPN, a source close to the team has said the door isn't closed on a return this season. So why would you go and trade your franchise player in the MVP of the league so that you can make a whatever kind of playoff run you think you're going to make? And he might be available to come back by the playoffs. Doesn't make sense to me. Even if he's not available to come back by the playoff and he rehabs through the summer and comes back healthy next season, I'd rather that and then make a deep run next season than to trade him now and he go to another team and he's going to win a championship at another team. And that would be heartbreaking because he is our guy. So the third point again, this injury is not career ending and they have not even said that it's season ending. So yeah, let him miss some time. Let him get rest. Let him get healthy. And the other guys are capable of winning games. We can definitely get into the playoffs without Joel Embiid. Whether we get an 8th seed or a 3rd seed really doesn't matter. If we get in, we have a chance with him. Point number 4. The Sixers have been very careful with Joel Embiid. And I give them credit this year. There's been many games where Joel Embiid didn't even play in the fourth quarter. They rested him. He's averaging over 1 point per minute. So the Sixers have done everything they could do to manage load without him sitting out a bunch of games. So I think that they are doing everything that they could do. They've done a great job of load management. And I think if you have a player that is that dominant, that can score 1 point a minute, then you can afford to maybe reduce his minutes when he comes back. He might not need to play over 30 minutes a game. So you might reduce his minutes to also reduce his chance of further injury. And that might be a great plan going forward, just to put him on a minutes restriction plan. And for a player that scores at that high a clip, it still works out for us. Point number 5, Steph Curry. And I give props to someone on the Facebook page for bringing this point to light. Stephen Curry had severe ankle problems. He was spraining his ankle. If you look at the report, I won't read off all the times he sprained his ankle, but go on Google and see how many times Steph Curry sprained his ankle. He has a surgically repaired ankle. And it seemed like every game or every other game he was tweaking his ankle or spraining it, and he was missing games. And what did the Golden State Warriors do? They didn't toss him to the curb and say, "Oh, we got to trade him, see what we can get for him." No, they stuck with him. They worked with him. They figured out what would work for him, what would get him healthy and get him to be able to play the majority of the season at a high level. And look, and I won't even tell you what they've gotten out of it. Multiple championships, because they stuck with their franchise player. They stuck with their star. And so he's a great example. There are other examples of players who teams stuck with because they knew it was worth it in the long run to stick with that player, and it would lead to championships or just a winning franchise in general. So Stephen Curry is a great example. Some facts about that was on May 25th, 2011, he had surgery on that ankle. And then in December 26th, 2011, he rolled that same ankle over and had to miss multiple games. So they didn't just trash him, kept working with him. And obviously he's going to go down in history as the greatest shooter ever. And he is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And he's probably going to be the greatest player. He is the greatest player in Golden State history. And imagine if they would have given up on him. We can't give up on Joel Embiid in the same fashion. And my 6th point is loyalty, a lost, forgotten art in professional sports, loyalty. And we get mad at guys when they go off and go to other teams or join up with players so that they can win, or they get tired. We get really mad. We got mad at Ben Simmons when Ben Simmons didn't want to play in Philly anymore. We get mad at players when they take their career into their own hands and decide where they want to play. We're mad at James Harden right now because he decided he wanted to go somewhere else. But when it's our opportunity to be loyal to the player, now we want to just get rid of him. So loyalty counts. In 2014, he was the 3rd pick in the draft. Andrew Wiggins was before him. Jabari Parker was before him. Aaron Gordon was after him. He's far outseeded anybody in that draft class. So Joel Embiid, we have to be loyal to him. We have to stick with him even through this time. And I think he's been loyal to our franchise. He could have opted out, asked for a trade or demanded a trade like a lot of guys do and forced their way out, and he did not. So let's be loyal to our guy, our franchise player, and support him through this tough time. Wish him well, let him heal up, and let him come back strong. And that is my 6 reasons why you cannot trade Joel Embiid. He is the process. He's the process. And we must continue to build around him and support him. And you can't help it if you injure your meniscus. He's playing as hard as he can play. So let's wish him the best. Let's get healthy. Go Sixers in the meantime, because it's not a one-man team. Although he was a big chunk of our team. Go Embiid, go Maxey, go Harris, go Melton, who should be returning from injury pretty soon, and go Oubre Jr. It's your time to shine, brother. And always the Lamborghini the engine, Pat Beverly. Come on, guys. It's time to rally up so that potentially Embiid can be back before the playoffs and we can make a run. And if not, then we have to look at next season. This is the 6 for Sixers podcast. I'm your host, Creek. Please like, share, subscribe, comment. Let us know how you feel. Until the next time, which will be tonight after the Mavericks game, God willing, hope everything goes well. Let's go Sixers. Hopefully we can beat Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. I think we can do it. All right. Y'all, peace. See you next time.